What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another awesome episode of the Bible Business Plan Podcast, the daily podcast for Christian entrepreneurs who want to build businesses that Christ would be proud of. Got a good friend of mine on the line today, an awesome entrepreneur that everybody needs to be listening to, especially if you like the stock market. Got my friend Jason Brown here. What's up, Jason?
What's up, Shane? Glad to be
doing,
here,
buddy?
man. Oh, I'm fantastic.
All right, tell everybody a little bit more about what you do in your business, how you live this entrepreneur lifestyle, and what it is you do online.
Yeah, for sure. So I run the Brown Report, which is a stock market education company. And under that brand, we have what's called Power Trades University. So I pretty much created a university to take somebody from knowing nothing about the stock market to learning about the stock market, learning about options trading. And then we took it a step further. Every week we meet online and I actually walk through real trades that I'm looking at, how it plays the trade, what strategy I'm using. If something goes wrong, how do we repair it? And we pretty much, share that with our community and bring them on live to, ask Q&A and be able to watch replay and foster community around the stock market.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. I have no idea. Like, it's so funny. Like, you feel really smart in some things in your life. Like, you give me an online business, you give me an idea, I'll mold it, I'll shape it, we'll make you some money. I look at the stock market and I might as well be looking at hieroglyphics like in Egypt or something like that, dude. We're looking at our money at the beginning of the year and I was like, man, we might need to buy some stocks. We might need to invest in the stock market. And we started looking at it and I started trying to figure it out. And I said, forget this. We're going to buy a house and we'll rent it to somebody. I said, we'll do that. I understand that part. So what I should have done is went and joined the Brown Report. That's what I should have done. So I could have figured it out.
There it is.
Maybe in the future, man. All right. Well, we're not here to talk about the stock market or real estate. And you do an awesome job, man. I want to tell everybody that I actually was at an event a couple months ago with Jason. We got to sit down at Chipotle and pick each other's brains a little bit. And man, this dude is smart. He's awesome. And he knows exactly what he's talking about. But we're here to talk about the Bible. We're here to get into the Word and find some Bible verses that have massive implications on our life and on our business. I always use that word implications. I've had some emails since we started the podcast where people have wrote in and been like, that's not what God was saying. And I'm like, well, the internet wasn't invented back then. Of course that wasn't what he's saying. But it has implications for our business, how we should treat other people, how we should conduct business. And I know you've got a couple awesome verses today, man. So just tell us your Bible verses and tell us why they're significant for you and your business.
Yeah, absolutely. So the first one is 2 Corinthians 5. And that's, for we live by faith, not by sight. Now, it's kind of like you said, what are the implications? And for everyone, it may mean, something slightly different. So I'm just going to tell you what it means to me as far as my business goes and as far as, being a Christian goes. So, when I look at that verse, what really fires me up about it is that when you think about building some type of online business or getting into the stock market, or like you said, if you bought a rental property and rented it out, like, we don't have a crystal ball that everything is going to turn out okay. We don't have I don't have a crystal ball that every stock I pick is going to move. You don't have a crystal ball that property you picked is not going to have any foundation problems or something like that. But when you walk by faith and not by sight, you just have faith that as long as what you're doing is, for the betterment of other people, for the betterment of yourself, then you have faith that it's going to turn out all right. And so I really like that verse in this space that we're in the online space, because some people will say, like you were a teacher, you quit your job. Well, how do you know that that's going to last for the next 30 years, 40 years? Or how do you know you're not going to have to go back to work? It's like I'm walking by faith, not by sight. I don't 100% know, but I'm basing it on projections and what I feel and what I think my abilities are going to be able to produce in the future, that I'm going to be okay. So that's why that verse really is important to me.
Man, I tell you what, I can't tell you how many people said that to me when we were about to quit our jobs. Like, especially my mom. My mom was like, how do you know? What are you going to do? And it was so funny because I'm like, Mom, Dad's owned his own insurance agency for 40 years. How do you know? You know what I mean? Like,
right.
You know what I'm saying? But like, they had discovered their certainty and they had tried to, pass certainty to us. And that when certainty was evaporating around her, she didn't know what to do, And so many people, man, I tell you what, I know exactly who to give their money back when they join our community, because they'll, or when they're at, or who I tell people immediately, our community is not right for you, because they'll like, oh yeah, So how many people succeeded in 4 months and quit their job? Or they'll say, hey, what guarantees can you give me that, this my idea is going to work out? I'm like, zero,
Right.
because I can't control you. I don't know how you're going to do it. But also, too, there's uncertainty. Listen, people see us sometimes and they're like, oh, you guys are so successful and you do this and you do that and you made this and you made that. Of course, it's easier for you to say that. But I'll tell you, it don't matter how much you make. It doesn't matter how big your business gets. There's uncertainty every single day. Every decision you make. We just made a $20,000 investment like 3 days ago in our business. In people. I don't know if I'm going to get that money back. That's $20,000. You know what I mean? But I have faith. I have faith in the abilities that God's given us. I have faith that He's got a plan for my life. He's got a reason He wants us in this game.
Exactly.
Right? And that's, that verse, just, you have to latch on to something like that as an entrepreneur, or you ain't going to make it.
Yeah, absolutely. And in our business, like, I just brought on another VA, and I think even with hiring people are like, well, how do you know they're not going to steal your ideas or do it? It's like, listen,
all the time, man.
Like, ain't nobody got time for that. Like, you just got to believe that people are good people. They want to work. They want to get paid. And you just got to have some faith,
Yes. Now, people always say that, like, you mean I got to give them my WordPress password? You mean I got to give them my Facebook account? And I'm like, yeah, you do, or you're doing it. And you ain't got time to do that. You got other stuff to do. You're the leader of the company. And I got 2 great pieces of advice from a couple about this topic. One was from James Schramko, right? He was a guy that we talked to for a lot, and he worked with us on our business. And he said to me one time, he said, there will always be fraud, but 97% of the time there won't be. Someone is that is going to happen. It's just deal with it. When it happens, you deal with it. You know what I mean? There's always going to be something bad happen. And another great one is from Michael O'Neill from Solopreneur Hour. He says, man, you just have to look at people and they're innocent until proven creepy. I mean, until you prove you're a creep, I'm going to love you. I'm going to hug you. I'm going to high five you. I'm going to hire you. And I'm going to expect you to do your best, and I'll do my best for you. But when you prove you're creepy, I'll fire you. But It's only 3%, so it don't matter. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, I love living like that. I'd rather live with the 97% it's okay than that 3% of gloom and doom and never make no progress.
Absolutely. And people think that they're the last honest person on this earth or something. Like, there's no more honest people. It's just me.
Ain't no honest people. The Bible says there ain't no honest people. Who has sinned? None. Everybody. You know what I mean? I mean, like, we're all stupid. We all do dumb things. And but I think that we get so fearful about that small percentage of stuff. It's like watching the news. People watch the news. My dad says this all the time because he's getting older, and he's like, God, I can't believe the world today. I see all this stuff. I'm like, yeah, but all this stuff was already happening. We just see it because of the internet and TV.
Absolutely.
75 channels. And like, oh, man, 90. I wish people could be in our world, Jason, like the people we hang out with. And like, that's what I love about the entrepreneurship. Man, when you go to a conference, you see the good. You see the people hustling. You see everybody living by faith, taking chances and trusting that everything's going to be okay.
Absolutely.
And then, some people don't see that.
So that actually takes me into my second verse.
Transition. I'll do it. That's how good a podcast host I am, Jason. I didn't even know that. But we're transitioning.
Let's do it. Podcaster too. I got you.
That's right, man. This is work.
And so just what you just said, right? You wish the people could be in our world. And that takes me to my second one, Proverbs 27:17, baby. I know it's a common one, but it's so true. As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another one. And that verse is so important to me because when you talk about going to the conferences, being around the people, listening to the podcast, getting around however you can get around, we sharpen each other, and if all you're doing is listening to negativity all day, you're kind of dulling each other. I guess that would be the opposite of it. And when you think about how we met, if it wasn't for a podcast, we didn't meet in person, just me brushing shoulders with you unknowingly, you didn't even know I exist, but hearing you on the podcast just was like, man, I'm getting up off my butt and creating my course. If this guy can do it with like football plans, I'm like, I know I got something with the stock market.
That's right.
And then when we met, I mean, it was like a whole nother energy. It's like, let's go. And we didn't even have to say anything. It was just like, oh my God, let's go. Yes. Like I'm in the presence of other people who are going after their dreams. And so, that's huge because if you're not around other people that's sharpening you, it's like I said in the beginning, then you're around people that's making you dull. And that doesn't mean that they're bad people because some people always mistake that. Do I not talk to my friends? Do I not talk to my family?
Yep.
I'm not saying that. There's a time and a place for family barbecues and all that good stuff and the love and hug on them. But when you're going after greatness and going after building this entrepreneurial thing, you got to surround yourself with some other people that's sharper than you, that's smarter than you, that's making more money than you, that's trying and failing faster than you. And so that one really resonates with me. Like we talked about conference. I just dropped a couple grand on like 3 more conferences. I'm like, I got to be there. I got to be around other people like me.
You have to, dude. You absolutely have to. Like, I love what you're saying about the dullness there, because iron sharpens iron, but that rock ain't doing it. That dirt ain't doing it.
Right.
That negative soil that's all black and nothing will grow in it, and it's just like disgusting and fudgy and sitting on the edge of my pond out here ain't gonna do it. You know what I mean? It's like you've got to have iron sharpening iron. You got to be getting yourself around, what's the Bible say? Many wise counselors, right?
Absolutely.
You can be around the wrong people, right? And they can go back to that first verse. They can screw up your faith. They really can, because like I look back at all the times I've doubted myself, or I've doubted me and Jocelyn, or I've doubted what we were doing, because that happens. It's going to creep in.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? We were talking about this just the other day, and we were like, wait a minute, who we been hanging around? What have we been looking at on the internet? Have we been reading the news every day? Has CNN been playing in the background, and Fox News and all the other gloom and doom nonsense? Like, and when we looked at it, it was that we weren't reading our Bibles. We weren't hanging around with people. We hadn't been to a conference in 4 or 5 months. You know what I'm saying? And it was
absolutely.
There's a danger zone here too for podcasters like us, because I batch a lot of stuff up front. So man, I'll get like 1 week, I'll talk to you, and I'll talk to Aaron Walker, and I'll talk to Grant Baldwin and Jeff Rose and all these. God, these people are killing it, man. Let's go like for a week, and then like 4 weeks later, I haven't recorded a podcast in a month because I got so far ahead. And I'll be like, man, everything's gonna fall apart. I'm down in the valley, and the roller coaster just went down and through 3 loops, and I think I'm gonna puke. And like it's like iron sharpens iron. You gotta be careful who you're hanging out, who you're listening to on the podcast, who you're watching on the news.
Absolutely.
And that's how you really do build a business that Christ wants you to build, because you're doing it the way you're supposed to do it.
Absolutely.
Man, I tell you what, dude, those were 2 powerful verses, and what a great conversation, man. So let's close up on that. The goal with this podcast every day is give somebody quick hits, 10, 15 minutes, just something to really put them in the right place for the day. But if they want to learn more about you, more about the Brown Report, more about the stock market, where can people find you online?
Absolutely. First of all, thanks for having me on, and I hope those 2 verses resonated with somebody out there, and I know that it will. So if they want to find me, they can check me out at thebrownreport.com. On Snapchat, I'm at Brown Report. On Facebook, I'm facebook.com/Brown Report. On YouTube, The Brown Report. So just type in The Brown Report, and you'll find me on whatever platform.
Awesome, man. Praying for you. Love you, and thanks for sharing.
All right, partner. Appreciate you.